We're going to talk about John McLaughlin and his new release. Music from Abandoned Heights is the album. It's apparently been 6 years in the making. The film was delayed, so he went ahead and released the album before the film was released. To me, I've been listening to this album and it's pretty good. Actually, it's very good. I have a few problems with it. Um, I think it is good. And on a plus side, first of all, it's Sean McLaughlin, and how can you go wrong? You know what I'm saying? It's like I love John McLaughlin. I got turned on to him in 1973 when I was 8 years old, 9 years old. I had, I guess, real fusion to me, blending two art forms and making something completely unique. And unfortunately, this is just not a very unique Seems like he's wanting to look back. Seems like that's happening to McCartney as well. I love McCartney. It is a soundtrack album as well, so I'm not sure what's going on the screen. Of course, he has to be more simple. I mean, he can't just go balls to the wall, bitches brew. I don't know if it's a detective film or what's going on with it, but it has kind of a 1970s Mike Post vibe from like a non-existent 70s cop show or something. Mahavishnu Orchestra, Birds of Fire. And for a 9-year-old kid, man, that was pretty mind-blowing stuff. So, all right, let's dive into this for a second. Okay, so it's funky, it's kind of salsa maybe. It's grooving. It's just retro. But I do see how it could work for this film, perhaps. It's predictable, is what it is. You're really only going to hear it this one time. And I think primarily, so I say kudos to John for doing his job. I was wrong. It's called Scirocco or Shirakawa. It's like the blue drink that you get at a bar. Shirakawa. 6. Sounds like he just kind of drifted in the studios way because it's pretty brutal to jump right into Mahavishnu Orchestra and Shakti, especially Shakti. No, he's kind of accused sometimes, and I think it's true, of playing just maybe a few too many notes on some of that stuff. And once you listen to that material, what is the name of that album? He's a red Shakti album, and he's holding his guitar. It has the name Beauty in it, but it's such a brilliant album. Lady L is on that, and La Danse de Bonheur. Tactic Tagaro, Tactic Tagaro. Gotta get it, gotta get it, gotta get it. Da, dun, 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 dun. So anyway, yeah, this my daughter kind of had a good point. It kind of creeps along, and she was not a fan of the tone, the reverb, the drenched reverb soaked. It just kind of harkens back to maybe the 1980s. Reminds me of an album he did and a song called Nostalgia, which is actually one of my favorite tunes. But he used the synthesizer guitar and add just a more interesting tone, more nostalgic tone. This is just a straight strat, or I'm not sure what that is, but kind of goes nowhere. Does anybody remember that album? This guitar tone, there's something tone is not quite. It sort of dances around the the tones a little bit, which is kind of cool. It's got a cool sound. He did an album, I think it was called After the Rain. It was a tribute to Coltrane, and it had all this like peace and love and groovy man, far out and righteous. I didn't care for that album very much either. I also want to see an artist stretch a little bit more. But once again, let's just give him credit that he's doing his job. It's a movie soundtrack. That one goes nowhere, but this one seems to be doing okay. Yeah, it's pretty easy listening. It's kind of music-y as far as John McLaughlin goes. So I don't know. Let's move on. See what else we have in Elijah here. Must be the character in the film. Yeah. He's done that. I mean, he's that's kind of a classic McLaughlin sort of Mahavishnu, early 70s kind of thing. And once again, he's sort of resting on his laurels. Man, that's one of his cooler sounds, one of the best songs that he ever wrote, in my opinion, was Miles Beyond, which is on the Birds of Fire album. And it has that same sort of funky, you know, blues, dirty vibe. This is kind of a smooth jazz version of that sound. I like it though. I'm not a very good singer, so that was pretty cool. It sounded like he was actually maybe using a real Fender Rhodes. It's pretty Rhodesy. It's probably a Nord. Classic John phrasing. Yeah, man, I'm just not a huge fan of that 80s, mid 80s, about the time he was doing Radioactive. And it just had that plotting sort of, like I said, I do not know what's going on the screen, but as an album review and as a fan, I just, I don't know, man. It just sounds sort of, tonally, it sounds sort of mechanical in a way. There's probably a lot more going on here that I will uncover upon repeat listening. I do advocate repeat listening. I think that's wildly important. If you're not doing that, you're kind of missing out because some of these simple things that I'm calling, for lack of a better term, easy listening, the simplicity of it may dawn on me later as something really brilliant. I don't hear it yet. Been listening to him for a long time. It just seems a bit predictable to me. Two now. I mean, it's smoking. It is a movie soundtrack. It's good. It just seems to me, as a huge John McLaughlin fan, more of the same. At this point in his career, that's one thing Miles at least tried to do was to keep up to date with current sounds and because his career spanned what, at least 4 decades. On Bitches Brew, for instance, seminal album. I think it was 1969. I think so. Might have even been 1970. John McLaughlin formed his own group. Anybody that played with John McLaughlin went on to be, uh, for lack of a better term, celebrity. Somebody with a record deal, actually, that's a working musician. Put it that way. The people that you've heard about came out of that school. And then anybody, for instance, keyboard player, you had Keith Jarrett, Chick Corea, and Keith Jarrett. No, Herbie Hancock and Keith Jarrett. And anybody that played with Herbie Hancock, of course, became somebody. Anybody that played with all those artists, Chick Corea started Return to Forever. McLaughlin started Mahavishnu Orchestra. So there's a lot of history here. And so I guess as a fan, I'm just happy to see that he's still around, still making music. And Blacklight is a really sublime kind of album. And I thought he was kind of laying low on that one too, sort of holding back, sort of to, I guess, expand his audience a little bit, selling out, if you will. And there's nothing necessarily wrong with that because, you want to, if you don't have anybody listening to you, you might as well not even be writing material. She's not really breaking any new ground with this album, but it is what it is, and I do like it. It's good. Okay, we just caught the ending of that last one. Pretty moody sounding. I did like the tone of that. I like, or the texture of the piano. All right, I'm kind of digging this. It's got that Mike Post pop vibe again. Piano thing. Right, keeps you in a groove, keeps you in the dum da 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 boom boom. So you got this repeat thing. If you're younger, I highly recommend this album because this would probably a really good introduction, especially if you're not much into jazz. You probably won't even be watching this if you're not. So, but if you are, if this happens to get around, uh, definitely check this out because he's a class act. Really has such a feel like a handful of beauty. One of the most beautiful records in the entire world. That's the one from the other video that I couldn't remember. I haven't even talked about personnel on here. Whoever's doing this, it almost sounds like sometime when Herbie plays super in his pop, when he played with, for instance, did an album with Jack DeJohnette. I think it was released under Jack DeJohnette, and it had Pat Metheny. It was done probably 1988, 89, and yeah, it has that sort of a vibe to me. If anybody remembers that album. Has that old Bill Evans, not Bill Evans, the piano player, but Bill Evans, the saxophone player. That's who it kind of sounds like to me. Kind of music. Tasty though. It is tasty. Okay, this is called The End. Lots of space. I like that. It's good atmosphere music. This is a good ambient release. So if you're into ambient music, you'll like this album. And I will see you on the next one.